I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we have some updates to this whole thing that's going on with Tory the Lanez and Megan the Stallion. Tory the Lanez is funny. Um, if you don't know, Tory got stabbed. I would want to say a week ago. Um, and after that happened, his lawyers have been making a big push to try and get him out of jail. They have celebrities releasing petitions or linking petitions saying, hey, go, Drake did it. There's a lot of celebrities that did it, basically showing support for Tory Lanez. I guess, in a sense, that's them saying that they don't believe what Megan Thee Stallion and the court had to say about putting him in jail for 10 years because they are saying that he shot her. Now, wow, I could get into all that again. I don't feel like it. At the end of the day, you can believe what you want to believe. At the end of the day, the fact of the matter is Tory was charged. He was charged for 10 years for assaulting a woman and having possession of a gun. He was charged. So the fact of the matter is he did it. Now, while it's a lot of bullshit going on. Like I said, we have a Republican congresswoman on our right now, and we have his father on our left. Now, while I respect his father's opinion, because, of course, he's going to do whatever he can to get his son out of jail. The Republican, though, this is a bit shady, at least coming from her, and it's like, oh, we have all of this new evidence. And I'm like, wow, why was none of this evidence presented in court? Why didn't take? He it was a gag order placed on him. This is spooky and it's weird, but we're gonna get into Tory Lanez. Basically, Tory Lanez, his father, saying that he believes Megan Thee Stallion wasn't shot. Let's listen.
Convinced that your son did not commit the shooting for which he's serving this sentence?
I'm absolutely convinced. I've always been convinced. And a lot of the evidence that had been suppressed over the years, a lot of shenanigans that went on in the courtroom are now coming to light. There's been so much foul play. And I'm not just saying this as some sort of pissed off parent. I mean, one of the things, just by way of an example, and I know that our attorneys have spoken to this. You know, they have laid out things line by line. And I want to even take this moment this is the first time I'm meeting Representative Luna face to face. I want to thank you for the masterful job you've done getting out over the last little while, over the last couple of days on your platform so that people can know exactly what happened. But let me tell you from a parental standpoint, a parental observer of my son walking through this. I'll never forget the day when we're sitting outside of the courtroom getting ready for court to reconvene. And imagine the only independent witness, which should have been the only objective witness in this case, was a gentleman by the name of Sean Kelly. Interestingly enough, the only person that would be able to have an unbiased viewpoint of what actually happened. Imagine that the prosecution did not want to call that witness. Why? This is the only independent witness, but yet you don't want to call this person because obviously his bird's eye view will not support what you want the narrative to be. And so when we sat outside, my wife and I, we saw this gentleman come in and we sat down and it was identified for us that, oh, this is Mr. Sean Kelly. He's sitting across from us on the other side of the hallway. And as we sat there, the prosecution came out, one of their detectives or investigators rather, and one of the prosecutors, they took this gentleman, they went upstairs, I believe it was to the 14th floor at that time. By the time this man came down, the witness they did not want to call, this man came down and his testimony became so embellished with other nonsense that people who saw it just looked at it and said, this is crazy. So I saw these kind of things going on all throughout this case. People trying to bury evidence, not trying, burying evidence, a judge that refused to allow certain things to come into the courtroom or to be said, and was totally biased on the part of the prosecution. So the whole thing just stunk of a setup.
Just one last question, because you've made me think of this. But if your son was not responsible for Megan Thee Stallion being shot, we do know that indisputably she was shot. Who shot her?
First of all, the whole idea of her being shot is a speculation. That's a speculation. It's to this point has not been proven that she was even shot. And I want to make it really clear because I'm asked questions a lot as it regards to Megan. Megan is a young woman. I'm a father. I don't have any animosity to this girl at all. We pray for her. I've said that publicly on several occasions. My son included in our prayers. We have prayed for her on many occasions. So anything that I have to say is not to put her down, make her look like this person or that person. But the reality is that in all of this, how can you have a situation where in pretrial, the police, LAPD, says that the bullet fragments they had collected from the hospital just mysteriously vanishes. It goes missing. I would think that evidence is something that is protected in any police department, but they just mysteriously go missing. So there's no bullet fragments to be presented at trial. You have a situation where a gun is shot, and the gun, which is supposed to be your main piece of evidence, does not even show up at court, but some picture of a weapon that resembles or is the type of weapon they say that was used. The weapon does not show up at court. There is absolutely no, we hear this point of 0.1% of his DNA on the gun. Do you know what that actually means when you investigate it? That over 1.5 billion black people on the planet could have been their DNA. Yet my son is convicted for having used this gun, where an expert witness from the LAPD gets in there and he testifies as an expert of how many pounds of pressure it takes to shoot this gun and to shoot it 1, 2, 3 times and on and on and on. Yet the only evidence you have could fit the profile of 1.5 billion black people on planet Earth. The whole thing stinks of a conspiracy and it stinks of a cover-up.
Why have you taken up this case?
Well, first of all, Pierce, thank you so much for having us on to discuss this. And I just want to applaud you and your outlet for actually being able to showcase some of the facts here. Look, I don't have any connections to the rap industry, Mr. West, Mr. Brown. The only people that I really know involved in this are Miss Amber Rose, who actually initially flagged this for me and connected me with Tory's attorney. And when I looked at the evidence, and remember, I'm a member of House Oversight and Accountability, and I actually am the chairwoman of a task force that conducts investigations, most notably into the assassination of John F. Kennedy. So I'm all about the facts. And what I can tell you is that the evidence in this case overwhelmingly speaks to the fact that Mr. Lanez is actually being incarcerated, I would say, as an innocent man. And what I can tell you is, even to your question on what happened with who indeed may have pulled the trigger and, allegedly shot Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I don't know Miss Stallion, but what I can tell you is that the evidence says that there are no bullet fragments and that there are x-rays that the legal team, Mr. Lane's team, actually has that we'll be presenting. What I can also tell you is based on the evidence that I've seen, again, that number 0.01% DNA match, alleging that it's Mr. Lane's, when in actuality, they actually did not choose to test the other 4 individuals there. No fingerprints found on the magazine. By any arguable case, if this was a murder trial, he would actually be acquitted because there is no evidence. And so what I will tell you is, one of the things that people ask is, well, why are you getting involved as a federal representative when this is a California state? He's not from, Florida, or he's not represented by a Florida member of Congress. What purview do you have? And what I will say, Pierce, is that I have a platform and I have the ability on a federal level to impact prison reform. And what I can tell you is everything in this case, I don't believe that he was actually given due process. I believe it was a stacked trial. I believe the evidence speaks for itself. And I am willing to actually cross party lines to work with the Democrats to secure pardon from Governor Newsom's office. And we're currently in the process of setting up talks with Governor Newsom. I do think that he is going to do the right thing. I think that the evidence speaks for itself. I don't know. I didn't know that Drake had posted that petition, but what I will tell you is that was the right thing for him to do. And I hope more women specifically in the rap community can come forward and speak to this truth, because as you heard from Miss Stallion herself, she admitted to lying to Gayle King. And what I will also tell you is I'm also have been informed that there's actually ring footage, and that will likely also be released here pretty soon. I know we are helping to put the evidence out there to the American people. But I do believe that this is really a terrible case, and what was done to this family is unacceptable. And I will be continuing to push for his full pardon. I think that people owe them an apology. And furthermore, I'd like to finally say this, that I actually spoke to Mr. Lanez on the phone in prison yesterday, actually. And he is actually going to get very involved in criminal justice reform to ensure that this doesn't happen to other people, because in his case, he has an incredible family supporting him. He has the financial backing to fight this, but many people don't. And so that's where we are going to continue to champion these causes at the federal level, even all the way to the White House and in Washington, D.C.
Okay. Regardless of it, I feel like if there's more evidence, it should have been presented when he was on trial. Even if he was under a gag order, why would he sign it? Because don't you have to sign a gag order to be under one? And if you know your truth, if you know you didn't shoot this girl, then no, I'm not signing a gag order. I'm getting on that stand and I'm telling my truth. So regardless of it, now that he's been stabbed up 14 times and prison life don't seem so sweet anymore, it's not time to all hands on deck, get him out of jail. That's what we should have been doing in the first place. Now, because Megan did sit up here and tell us she never had sex with Tory Lanez, then came back around and said she did. Lie one time, you might lie twice. That's all I'm saying. So, regardless of it, I just find this whole thing odd. I feel so weirded out that we have a man in jail for 10 years for possession of a gun and assaulting with a deadly weapon, and we still don't know what happened. Truly, we keep hearing different stories, bits and pieces. It's like you hear one story, do you believe that story? Or do you hear one story and believe this one? It's all about what you believe at this point. That's why I'm finished with it. I'm done. I'm tired of this. And we're going to end it off of what Megan Thee Stallion had to say, because, of course, feeling all this public pressure right now, this being drummed back up in the media and people talking about this and everybody trying to figure out what's going on and how they can get Tory Lanez out of jail, she had to say some things. Let's read what she said. At what point are y'all going to stop making me have to live being shot by Tory? At what point are Tory and y'all fans going to stop lying? Like, how much is this check to keep harassing me? Why is this happening every day? 1 minute him/y'all said I was never shot. Now y'all let him play in y'all face again and say I was shot, but it wasn't him. Oh, okay. And all right, since we're getting a proper response, I'd like to address what she said there. Because, Megan, you could at least go, hey, well, I could believe why they probably think at first I didn't get shot, because that's what I told the police at first. we didn't know somebody got shot till you came on your live and said, hey, I got shot at by Tory Lanez. That's what you did. So you changed the story. And so now we're just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I'm not even a Tory Lanez fan. I'm just saying that's what happened. Anyways. I'm sick of this shit. Leave me the fuck alone. He ain't dare get on that stand and deny he shot me, and that was his choice because he knows he did that shit. I don't give a fuck about a blog or a bot. Why in the fuck would me, Megan Thee Stallion, have to lie on this motherfucker about shooting me? How y'all mad at the person that got shot? Facts are facts. He did it. It was proven in court. Fuck the hate campaign on the internet. Tory, you shot me. Ain't no new fucking evidence. Y'all been saying the same shit for years. Tory, please leave me alone. You are a fucking demon. I'm off this silly ass internet shit. Bye. Yeah. From the desk of Megan Thee Stallion. Oh man. We'll let this continue to develop over here at I Am Savvy Mike TV. At this point, I get why this is happening because, like I said, he got stabbed 14. The man could be dead. He could be dead. And that is kind of crazy that she's telling him to leave her alone when, one, you got a restraining order, and two, this nigga's probably in a hospital bed tending to his wounds right now. He's not worried about you. He's worried about getting out of jail. And if getting out of jail is saying that he didn't do it and finally really trying to at least push out there that it wasn't him that shot Tor or Megan, it was Kelsey, then look, keep trying, buddy. Keep trying. But at this point, it's not enough. At this point, I would need video fucking proof, 4K of the whole entire situation. Because at this point, everyone's lying. Megan's lying. Kelsey's lying. Tory's lying. No one's telling the truth. That's how I feel. Anyways, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.